first week of Big 12 conference play, and got a couple good games in there, and then you got Baylor and Kansas. So I don't know what to expect. That'll be an interesting one, but there is two non-conference games. Iowa State plays Akron, and then Oklahoma plays Army. The first game up actually is Iowa State-Akron. Akron's 2-0. Iowa State is 0-2. Iowa State's at home. Iowa State, I got them winning big. Like, big. 51-14. Iowa State. Kansas plays at Baylor. Last year I picked Kansas at home. They were both 0-9 at the time, I think. And Baylor ended up destroying Kansas. This year, Kansas is a little hot right now. They're 2-1 with a win against Rutgers and a win against Central Michigan on the road. Baylor coming off a tough loss to Duke at home. I think this year's going to be a closer game. I think Baylor still wins. Charlie Brewer, that quarterback, the average quarterback, is just, I think that team's a little bit better skill-wise. I think they're going to be able to stop Puka Williams Jr. I think, Baylor's just got too much talent. It's at home, so I give the advantage to them. But it will be closer than last year's game. I think that Baylor will end up winning this thing 34-21. So, the next game, we got Kansas State plays at West Virginia. West Virginia 2-0. They did not play their third non-conference game at NC State due to Hurricane Florence. And Kansas State is 2-1 with the loss to Mississippi State and the wins against UTSA and North Dakota. I think it was North or South Dakota. It was one of the Dakotas. But Will Grier, Heisman candidate right now, or he's one of the Heisman favorites, along with Tua, Kyler Murray, Bryce Love, you know the list. But that's an explosive offense. Got some solid receivers on that team. You got Grier, obviously the quarterback, and then Kansas State. They just don't have an offense really. It's not that impressive. You got Delton, Skylar Thompson as their quarterbacks. They're running quarterbacks more than anything. They throw every once in a while, obviously, but West Virginia, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia wins by 20, I guess. I don't know. I didn't think of scores before I made this video, so I should probably just start thinking of scores now. But, West Virginia, I got them winning this thing. I think they'll put a lot of points on the board. They'll just overwhelm the Kansas State defense with the weapons that they have on offense. And then Kansas State, I don't think they'll be able to answer. I got West Virginia winning this thing 49-20. Next up, we probably got what is the big game of the week for the Big 12. We got TCU coming off a tough loss to Ohio State, and Texas coming off a big win, a big blowout win actually against USC at home. TCU has beaten Texas 4 straight years, so that Texas is going to have a chip on their shoulder from that. TCU's got a chip on their shoulder because they weren't recruited by Texas, so it's a big deal for them. They get to play the team that didn't recruit them. And so, obviously, both teams got chips on their shoulders going into this game. I think Texas, they're going to come out like they did last week. I think they're going to come out with some intensity, some aggression. I think that they're going to have a lot of confidence going into this game, which is going to be huge for them. TCU, I don't think they're going to be thinking about last week too much. I think last week, because it was non-conference, it's still not good that they lost, but it's not as big of a deal since it was a non-conference loss and it was to a pretty talented Ohio State team. I think they'll fix some of the mistakes they made last week, also known as those 2 turnovers that ended up costing them 14 points. Defense, I think both defenses, I think, will keep this a close game. Last week, Texas's run defense did incredible. I think TCU's defense will do better than they did last week, even though they did still do pretty good last week. But you know what? It's at UT. Texas got some momentum. If the team that showed up last week shows up this week and not the Maryland team, I think Texas wins this one. I think they get their second consecutive upset. I don't think it'll be a blowout or anything like last week. I think it'll still be a close game. But I think Texas opens up their conference schedule 1-0. I think they won this thing 27-24. Dicker the kicker saves them. So, yeah. Next game, Oklahoma Army. Army, they're just a straight run team. Just like, let me pull this up. Army and Navy, they just run it. And then they throw it like once a game. I mean, yeah. Oh, this year they're actually throwing the ball. How about that? 38 passes in 3 games. That's a lot for Army. That's a lot. But, yeah, lots of running for them. Oklahoma, too much offense. Army, not enough. Oklahoma wins this one big time. I think they drop 70 on them. 70-21, Oklahoma. Another big game we got Texas Tech playing at Oklahoma State. I think this one could end up being a really good game too. Texas Tech coming off a high-scoring victory over Houston, and Oklahoma State coming off an impressive win against Boise State. Bowman, he had that historic performance against Houston last week, and Oklahoma State, obviously, as I said, they just scored 44 on a pretty impressive team. If Bowman can play like he did last week, he's going to keep them in this game. If Hill, for Oklahoma State, he's a really good running back. If he can get some holes and just leave, if Cornelius can make some good passes, obviously. But, I think this could end up being a high-scoring game like the Texas Tech Houston game. I think Bowman, he'll show up. He'll have some great passes like he did last week. I think he'll have a big performance. He's going to have to obviously have a big performance to give them a chance. Defense for Tech, I just don't think they're good enough to stop Oklahoma State's offense because they got that pass threat with Cornelius, and then they got the run threat with Justice Hill. That's the biggest fear on defense when you got a running back who can run you over, who can just run all over you, run 100, 150 yards, but you also have a quarterback who can throw 300-400 yards at the same time, and you're on your heels, you're guessing, are they going to run, are they going to pass? So it's really a guessing game for Texas Tech's defense, and Texas Tech's defense, obviously not the greatest. They did shut out Lamar, but then again, that's Lamar. They allowed 47 to Ole Miss. They allowed 49 to Houston. I think it's going to be another struggle defensively for them. Offensively, I think they'll be able to get on the boards, but I think Oklahoma State just a little bit too much, and then obviously they have a better defense. I think that will get them a 2-touchdown victory. I think that Oklahoma State wins this thing 56-42. So obviously a high-scoring game, but Oklahoma State walks away with a victory, and them being at home does help, obviously. But obviously Oklahoma State, they got a good offense. They got a better defense. That's going to end up giving them the win. That's all I got for today. Tomorrow morning will be my race preview for the Richmond night race in the playoffs. Fancy stuff. But, yeah, Big 12, Week 4, Week 1 of conference play video. I really don't know what else to say, but got yourself a video right here. You can get yourself another video right here. And if you'd like to subscribe to me, you could just click on my face. That would be amazing if you clicked on my face. Race preview tomorrow. Thank you for watching.